This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey everybody, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast. Back again.
Yay! It's about as much enthusiasm as they had too.
Yay!
They're like, where do we think he went?
I don't know.
Anyway, today we're going to discuss Kuaron Harvey.
Is he related to Steve Harvey?
Don't think so.
Okay. Well, then I don't know him.
Don't know him, never heard of him. All
Nope.
right, let's get this ball rolling.
Here we go.
So this one's going to be a little downer for you. All of them are, of course, but this is just
Of course.
extra. No reason to it. Suckage.
Just extra.
Yeah, extra suckage. But we're going to take this one to St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
We're going to start with a little Paris Harvey.
Paris.
It's a picture of her. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a young'un. She's 12 years old.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. She had 8 siblings. So she's one of 9 children.
Damn.
Right? Do they not know
That's a
how
lot of
kids
kids.
are made? That is too many kids to me.
And I thought we had too many.
Right? That's a whole
Damn.
class full. Jeez. But people say she was a funny 7th grader who loved getting her hair and nails done and had a beautiful singing voice.
Okay. I'm already pissed because you said was.
I know you were already pissed. Then we're going to discuss Mr. Kuaron Harvey. It's kind of a little blurry picture, but as you can tell, he is 14 years old.
Okay.
So another youngin'. And people say he was a goofy 8th grader who had long been able to do backflips. So he liked to do backflips and
Okay.
kinds of little tricks. But Paris's mom's name was Shanice Harvey. She's 35 years old. And Kuaron's mother was Dara Harvey.
They're related?
Yes. I don't know if it was by marriage or somehow
Okay.
they're related, but that's her with Kuaron. With Dara. Dara? Yeah, Dara and Kuaron.
Okay.
Kuaron was the son of Shanice's brother.
So
Kuaron and Paris are cousins.
Kuaron and Paris are cousins.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
They're first
I knew.
cousins.
I'm like, well, okay, let's find out how they're related here.
Yeah, so they're cousins. So on March 25th of 2022, so fairly recent, 2 years ago,
Yeah, not too long.
the family had a birthday party. So they rented this house to have the birthday party. It was on 1,000 block of Spruce Street. And it was this large birthday party because it was multiple birthdays. And the family just got everyone together, celebrated it one big swoosh. Kuaron actually just had celebrated his birthday. So he was actually one of the parties that were there.
Okay.
So it was him and a few other family members all shared birthdays close together. Paris and Kuaron wanted to get away from the music and the crowd because they wanted to do a Instagram Live.
Okay.
So they snuck off into the bathroom. It was around 2 a.m. And there's a picture of her little selfie and stuff for the Instagram Live. They're just, kids that age. They want to be, what do they call it? Influencers. So they're always on live for something.
Okay.
They're in the bathroom doing little dances, doing their lives. And you can still find the video online some places. But I was able to find it and I watched it. But as we get farther in it, you can see viewer discretion. If you want to see it, you can Google it and probably find it. If you don't want to see it, don't Google it. Like, it's out there.
Okay.
But Paris just randomly pulls a gun out of nowhere.
The hell?
Yeah. So she's there. She begins dancing around and waving this gun around, acting all tough. And there's a picture of her, Yeah, I think that's her. Yeah, that's her. Holding a lighter for some reason. And she's got a gun.
Interesting.
Yes. So she's waving this around, acting all tough. She points it at the back of Kuaron's head. And it goes off.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
It was loaded. As you see, that's the picture right before the incident. I don't know if that's extra magazine or what's down there.
It is.
That's a pimped out gun. I don't know where. But
Yeah,
she points it.
It's a clip with like a round piece in it that holds a lot of rounds.
So they're playing with this, passing it back and forth. She, jokingly acting tough, points it at his head, goes off.
Shit.
Yeah. And did I put it? And so that's why I'm saying viewer discretion. The video, you can see the full length of video, but obviously,
no thanks.
Yeah, it goes off. It scares the shit out of her, of course. So you see her, she drops the gun, she hits the floor, like she backs up on the wall and she hits the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes to grab the gun, and it goes off again, hits her in the head.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So she ends up playing around, points at him, it shoots him. She freaks out, drops it, and backs up, and then she goes to pick it up, goes off again.
Jesus.
Wipes her out. So obviously, horrible scenario. But you can't see, in the video, you don't see a whole lot of gore. Like, obviously,
You just hear the pop and then...
him, if you look, you can see him. You see his head jerk.
Yeah.
That's all you see. She drops it, she backs up there, and then she bends down to pick it, and you only see, like, the top of her head, and then you see her head jerk, and she falls. So you don't see, like, blood, nothing, but you can tell from the jerking of what happens.
Yeah.
And then you can hear a woman scream right after you hear that second gunshot. You can hear this woman screaming outside the door. So someone's freaking out. But the cops were immediately called. Susan Dyson, which is their grandmother.
Okay.
It just says cousin's grandmother. I don't know which side where, but probably the dad and like the brother and sister probably. But told the St. Louis Dispatch that she had seen the Instagram live video depicting the shooting. So I don't know if she was at the party or not. She may have just been laying in bed watching the Instagram live, and she saw the whole thing go down.
Yeah.
She told Dispatch, quote, "It wasn't a situation where they were arguing or anything like that. They were playing with the gun when they shouldn't have been, of course. They shouldn't have been doing it. I think it just went off. It went off by mistake." So that's what she's saying. And then the police came, of course. And the police said, quote, "Victim and suspect were located inside a residence suffering from puncture wounds."
Puncture?
So, yeah, I don't know what caliber that gun is, if it's a 22 or something.
Could
tinier. Be. Yeah. But they called it puncture wounds. But they were both pronounced dead at the scene.
Wow.
Yeah. Her mother claims she does not know who the gun belonged to or how her daughter ended up with it. She's like, she's 12. I don't know where she got this gun. Because obviously it's a pretty decked out gun. It's got extra magazine.
Yeah.
Thinking like, I don't even know where she would have.
Yeah, that's definitely not the magazine that comes with the gun. That's somebody got that separate.
Someone took the care to add extra ammo and whatever else to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not clear where the gun came from, and no one admits to having one in the house. So they're asking around, and everyone's like, no.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
It wasn't registered.
Yeah, it wasn't registered,
so
obviously.
they're not going to admit it's theirs.
Yeah, no one's going to take, especially when it's the cause of two deaths. They're not going to walk up and be like, yeah, it's mine. No. But the police were leaning toward a murder-suicide as the ruling.
What?
On, Paris.
Even though they watched the video?
Yeah, because when she bends down, you cannot see. You just hear the gun go off.
Okay.
So the family's saying she looks terrified. She looks like she bent down to pick the gun off. The police are saying, I think she feels bad, and she turned around and she shoots herself.
I mean, could be, but I wouldn't call it a murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Maybe an accidental death and followed by a suicide,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't call it a murder-suicide.
So
It's not like she planned it.
No, but they're wanting to rule it that way. The family's like, she would never, so it's kind of a fight between the two. But her mother told NBC, quote, "They were making a video and she was playing with the gun, but it went off and hit him. To my knowledge, then she picked it up. She picked it up by the barrel, and it went off again. It was not a suicide, it's just a freak accident.
Okay.
But Dara, Kuaron's mom, does not believe it was an accident.
What?
Yeah. She doesn't think it was an accident.
Because her son was the one who was killed, so.
Yeah. News 4 aired the Instagram live video, so they showed it. But only the part leading up to the shooting. Like, they didn't show the whole shooting. They showed to about where I got that picture.
Okay.
Of course, Dara said about that, quote, "This video wasn't supposed to get out, I feel like it, but it got out so we could see what really happened." So she's wanting to push towards, hey, keep your guns locked up and safe.
Well, yeah.
This stuff happens, watch this.
Yeah.
Just want to get the word out. But Shanice has not watched the video, so Paris's mom hasn't watched it. But that's weird because the quote she said, it looks like she bended down, she's like, she bent down, picked it up by the
Maybe
barrel.
she's going by what somebody else said.
Yeah, because it said family described it to her, but she's never watched it herself.
Yeah.
And that's the one reason why people argue that she can't for sure say it was not suicide. They're like, you didn't even watch the video. Like, you know your daughter best. You can tell
True.
by her mannerisms or whatever, but you ain't even watched it, so how can you know one from the other? But Shanice said the cousins were, quote, trying to be too hip. Like, they're trying to be little hipsters, whatever, play with this real gun.
Yeah.
Not even realizing that it could possibly be loaded. But Shanice initially did not plan to let the children attend the party, but gave in after they begged her to go. So I guess it sounds like Kuaron was visiting Paris, and it was getting late, and they're like, no, you can't walk back over there to the party, and then they begged her, so like, okay, go back. And then that's when this video happens, when they, yeah. So she originally didn't plan to let them stay that long, but they wanted to, so she gave in. I bet she feels really horrible, but you can't predict these things.
No, definitely not.
So some of Paris's family members stated they thought the gun was Kuaron's. So Paris's family's like, I think it's his. But in the video, it's like she just pulls it. I don't even know. There's nothing around her. She just hand down. Boop, there it is. Like, I don't even know where she found it.
Huh.
But she definitely puts her hand down and pulls it right up out of midair. It's not like she was digging through a cabinet or nothing, or, oh, look what I found.
Yeah.
It's like she knew where it was and she pulled it right out. I don't know this house was a rented house, so I don't know.
She brought it with her.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, because it said they rented this big old house to have this big party.
Yeah.
And yet she pulls a gun out of something, so I don't know. But, so that's all kind of weird. But Dara replied, quote, "I'm not a bad mother. I am not. I did my best with my baby. Everybody knows this." So, of course, people are pushing the blame of her, but like, it's his gun. He brought it. Oh, boy. She's like, no, he didn't. I'm a good mom. He knows better, all this stuff. And then some people are saying, it's Paris's gun. And they're like, oh, and then people are like, ain't mine. So this gun's just like randomly laying.
It's definitely a family member's. They just don't want to admit whose it is. Mm-hmm. One, it's not registered, so it's illegal. Two, who knows if it was used in a crime prior. That's
what I was thinking, because a gun not registered with that kind of additions on it, usually gang or something criminally related.
Yeah, used in a robbery or something.
Yeah, so no one's going to claim it, especially if it's been tied to more things. But this is Dara on her interview with the news, obviously torn to pieces. But there is a GoFundMe for Paris that was set up right after the incident. And there's a picture of Paris. That's her GoFundMe. And
she looks way different, that picture, than the one in the video.
I know, she does. But I took a screenshot of this. So this is
current,
yeah. That's the last amount of money that was on there.
It's no longer accepting donations.
Yeah, so they closed it, obviously.
They got $2,500.
Yeah. Tatina Gillihan organized. I don't know her relation or who she was, but she's the one that organized this. Oh, here we go. See if I read down another line.
You always do that.
Every time.
You always do that.
Her older sister, Tatyna, I don't even know. Tatyina. Tatyna Gillihan.
Yeah.
So her older sister. And it had a goal.
Paris's older sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paris's older sister. And it had a goal of $9,000.
Well, they didn't
And
make
that's
it.
where it ended up. Yeah. A separate GoFundMe was made for Kuaron. And it had a goal of $8,000. And I screenshotted that. Obviously, that picture's way younger. They did the baby picture there. Toddler picture, something. Because he was 14. They also, I think that's his nickname, K-Sav.
Okay.
So, but he raised $3,335. And his mother and 2 others organized this one. It was a team fundraiser.
Okay.
So he got, I mean, they're pretty close in goals and what was raised. Dara said, quote, "He was so loving, respectful. He loved go-kart riding. Like we were getting ready to go to Six Flags. It's just a lot that he's going to miss out." Again, they were both. And that goes for Paris, too. They were both young. That's Kuaron.
Mm-hmm.
Little memorial picture. But they were both young. Missing out on so much. But Dara said she has not spoken to Paris's mother since that day. Because, of course, blame's going back and forth. So they ain't socialized since that day.
Yep.
And Dara said in an interview, quote, "I ain't said nothing to those people. I don't want to hear from them people." So obviously she's blaming them thinking it's Paris's gun.
Yeah.
They're blaming Kuaron thinking it's his gun. So they're not getting along at the moment.
Well.
Yeah. But I got some related data for you.
Okay.
Regarding, gun safety and stuff. But it said more than 45,000 Americans died from gun-related injuries in 2020, while the vast majority of those were either murders or suicides. Hundreds of people die each year from unintentional gun deaths as well.
Yeah.
So this happens quite more often than we realize.
Yep. That's why you got to keep your guns locked up.
Mm-hmm. And on January 30th, 2022, so just a couple months before this one, 14-year-old boy and 2 of his friends in Vero Beach, Florida, were playing with a gun. It went off and struck the boy. He died. Again, kind of the same thing. Playing a gun. Look at me. Goes off.
Yeah.
February 10th of 2022, same year, a month before this. A 10-year-old boy from Georgia died after he was shot in the head with a pellet gun. His friend, 17-year-old Jamarius Wall, was arrested and charged with involuntary manslaughter. Another accidental thing. And then this was it. No updates have been found on this case. Last that was said was they have not pressed charges on anyone for the gun, but they're still investigating whose gun it was.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say they won't once they find out, but they haven't found out. No one's claiming this gun. I don't think anyone ever
And with
will.
it not being registered, they're not going to find
I
out
was
unless
saying,
somebody comes forward.
Unless someone rats someone out, they ain't going to find out. If it happened to be Kuaron's or Paris's, they're going to look into who gave it to them.
Well, yeah, because it's not like they...
Yeah, they're not just going to say that was Paris's case. They're going to be like, okay, how'd she get it? Like, they're going to trace it back.
Yeah.
And then go after whoever. But that's it for this case. It's horribly sad. And it's like, even some of the guns, they say, like, your passcodes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our teenager, we don't even notice him. We're typing in our phone passcodes, and he's like, he knows it.
Yeah.
So now they're saying, like, be careful. Like, if you use a code, the same code for your phone or something as you do the gun safe.
Yeah.
You never know when the kid's watching you or peeking over your shoulder. You're not even paying attention. You type it in, and he's right there.
Yeah.
Then they know it.
Mm-hmm.
So always keep that code completely different, separate, on its own.
That's smart.
Ours is fingerprint locked, too, so...
Yeah. And our code is way different than what we use for our phones and stuff.
It's hidden, so it's like it's locked in our room, which has a fingerprint lock. So it's like...
Yep. We
but
make
still,
sure of that stuff.
Yeah, but even if you think, at least go through it, walk through it, say, hey, what happens if they know my code? Can they still get to it? Or what happens,
Yeah.
Just think it through, because I'm sure no one ever thought this would happen. Kids, kids, especially teenagers. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to show off. And then this happens, so.
Definitely.
Oh, and that's why I said it's a very sad case. Because it's like no one intentionally went out to do nothing, but 2 kids lost their lives, so.
Yeah, 2 kids playing around, being dumb.
Horrible. Yep, sad. But yeah, that's your preaching and your case today.
Lock up your guns, people.
Lock up your guns, please.
God.
I know, it's awful.
And, well, and the other thing is, like, I mean, you can say, okay, in order to own a gun, you have to have a class, and they tell you how to lock them up and all that stuff. But again, they can't even figure out whose gun this is, so obviously it wasn't registered to anybody.
It's only one, but yeah. So I'm sure if they did that, people would be selling it on the street. And this.
Well, not only that, most of these states, like even the state we live in, like I can go buy a gun legally, and then let's say a year down the road, I don't want that gun. I can sell it to you. Mm-hmm. There's no record.
Oh yeah, I get on Facebook, whatever they call Marketplace, scrolling. Someone's like 9mm. I'm like, okay. They're like, here's serial number. You can search it. I'm like,
I don't get how
meet
that.
me in Walmart parking lot.
I don't get how that's legal. I can just sell my gun to someone else. Mm-hmm. And there's no record of it. There was no background check. No nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
And then
it's registered to you.
It's still registered to me because I'm the one who bought it.
In a situation where someone gets shot, it's going back to you.
And even if I keep track of who I sold it to,
they could sell it.
Like, what if they didn't give me a real name? Mm-hmm. There's no way. Like, it's too much crap. It's too much bullshit with that. Mm-hmm. They can go out and kill someone. It comes back to me, and the cops like, it's registered to you, and be like, I sold it back in 2022.
Yeah.
And they're like, to who? And I'm like, they said his name was John Smith.
I mean, even worse, they delete their Facebook profile. So you're like, I don't remember. Let me look. Oh, Facebook user. I don't
know who they are. It just says Facebook user now.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm surprised you find guns on Facebook because I think that's against policy to sell that.
They do, yeah. There was a guy, and he said, I'll give you the serial number if you want to check on the
if somebody turned that in.
Indiana, whatever site. We'll meet at Walmart. I'm like, oh,
that's insane.
Shitty. I know. I'm like, really?
Well, anyway, that's my soapbox.
That's your soapbox.
They really need to change that shit everywhere. Mm-hmm. Background check needs to be for everybody, and even for private sales, and there has to be record. It's ridiculous.
And I've even seen, because I watch YouTube all the time, like documentaries and all this stuff, and I see these people, like, it says scary things found in the forest, and these guys are walking around, they just find a gun laying there. They're like, oh, that's cool. Does it work? Oh, it looks like it works. I'm going to clean it and keep it. I'm like, how do you know that wasn't a murder weapon?
Well, it's obvious. If you just find a gun randomly in the woods, there's a reason it was ditched in the woods.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Well, if they keep it and then pass it to their friend, and their friend pass it to their kid, and then something happens, they're like, where'd you get that gun? And they trace it back to what? The woods? Like,
it was used in a murder in 1972.
Yeah, I'm like, what? So there's no freaking way.
It's... No, we need to do a better job of this. This is horrible.
It is. It's sad. But thoughts out to both their families. I know you guys are fighting, but from what I see, it couldn't be one's fault over the other.
No. I mean, they're kids. Even if one of them happened to be the one who brought the gun, it's not their gun.
It wasn't for this reason.
They got it from someone. So...
Either they're kids, either they saw it or saw someone stick it in a drawer or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're kids.
They got it from somewhere.
And I'm sure she's 12, I'm sure they didn't set her down and be like, now this is how you load a gun, this is how it works, She's just flipping it around and hit the trigger and it went off.
Especially not in a city. They live in a city, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... Yeah, they live in a city, so it's not like it's country people, because country people will show their kids how to use guns. But people in the city don't think to do stuff
No,
like
they
that.
don't think like that.
Because, I mean, if you're in the city and you got a gun, most likely it's not for legal reasons. Most cities don't allow you to do guns. So,
yeah, so she just obviously knew
or
what a gun
make it very
was and
difficult.
thought it would be cool to get views on Instagram and didn't realize that it had a hair trigger or whatever. And when she did this, her finger moved and bumped.
Yeah. A lot of those are really touchy too. Some of the newer ones, they have like a dual trigger. Like there's a trigger inside the trigger, so you have to press that first, then it pulls back. But a lot of the older ones, you just barely touch those things and they go off.
And also, it had to be like an automatic, 'cause I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's got a clip, it's a semi-automatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, automatics are pretty much illegal, but semi-automatic, yeah, it's a semi-automatic hand, just like ours. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. For some reason, I know
Put the
I was
clip
thinking
in,
in
pull the
terms
thing,
of I was
pop,
thinking
pop,
in
pop,
terms
pop,
of
you
it's
can
hard
keep
for
going.
me to like pull. So I know she didn't do like.
well, you watched the video, did she?
No, she just pulled it right
So that
out
thing
and
was
like.
that thing was loaded and ready to
she
go.
even looked at it like
So
this.
she was carrying it around, loaded and actually.
She just kind of bent and
Yeah.
picked, so I don't know if it was stuck somewhere or if she had it in her pants or what. But she pulled it out and she was like kissy faces with it.
It's crazy that that thing didn't go off prior.
I know, especially when she's waving around her face like this. I thought, oh God. And then she just goes, poof, and it goes off like automatically. And she's like, ah, freaking out, which everyone would.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh no. And then picking it up, it looks like she's flipping out to pick it up and it just goes off again. And it was just
Man.
horrible. I don't know if the gun was just that freaking easy to go off or what.
Yeah.
But
It must have been a really, really touchy trigger.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And she obviously didn't know enough about guns to not keep her finger off the trigger.
Yeah. You don't put your finger on the trigger unless you intend to
Yeah,
shoot.
so obviously that just shows she just thought it was cool to carry around and didn't know how
Yeah,
to use
you
it.
always keep your finger on the outside unless you are going to actually fire the gun.
So that means she picked it up with her finger on the trigger and she did that with her finger on the trigger. Unless it's just, like I said, that if it is that easy to go off, then I wouldn't have had it.
No,
I mean,
no.
if she just picked it up regularly and it just, then it's
Yeah.
from shaking around.
Yeah.
Take that out. But that's the terribly sad case of Paris and Kuaron.
All right.
So now that everyone's out there, like, okay, review where your guns are locked up. Make sure there's like 3 locks on there. Take some DNA blood to unlock it.
Yeah. You got to prick your finger every time
Iris
you unlock
scan,
it.
retina scan,
Yeah.
lock them up. It's, ugh. I don't know. You got any other news besides this depression case?
Not really. We're starting a new book.
Yeah.
The one we pulled on the last TikTok.
Yes.
There was a little bit of delay on that. I use audiobooks, so I use Audible. And
Gotta wait for his monthly.
I had to wait for my credit.
Because the library didn't have it on audio.
Yeah. So I finally got my credit, got the book downloaded, started it. I'm like on chapter 8 or 9 right now.
You think
You're-
it's okay?
It's all right so far.
I know
Well,
for
well,
the ghosts and paranormal side, you're like, crap.
Well, I don't mind that. It's just, I don't know. The way this is written and from the point of view and the perspective of it, it just feels really heavy and depressing to me. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know. The point of view of the characters, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, I feel like shit as I'm reading. And it's not that there's something wrong with the story. It's just, that's the mood it puts you in. And I don't know. I'm hoping it gets more, there's more into it. And it's not just endless of this. But we'll see. I mean, it's written very well. I can tell already it's written very well. It's just, it just puts you in a mood.
It does. And it's Ask for Andrea.
Yeah.
case, because they're out there like, what the hell is he talking about?
Sorry if
Ask
you're the
for
author.
Andrea.
Like I said, I'm just in like chapter 8 or 9 right now. It probably does change. It's just it's got me in a mood already.
I read this book a while ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's been a while. From what I remember, I think the ending, it was good. Like, it had a good twist to
I'm
it.
hoping.
And I was like, dang, I like that. I think it was one that was like
Even
when it
if
was
it's
first
not-
released out on
Even if it's not a
Kindle
happy
Unlimited.
ending, I just want, I don't know, I want it to go somewhere instead of just sitting here in this one little spot, be like, yep, more crap. More, not crap isn't bad, like more like things that just bring you down happening over and over
Can't
and
see
over.
the light at the end of the tunnel.
It makes you very depressed. I think it's just because it feels like despair.
storyline,
It feels
yeah.
like despair, like forever. At least through these first 8 chapters, I feel like it's just endless despair, and you're like, "Oh, come on, can we get somewhere?
Yeah, I think it
Some
does.
some like positive, just to pull it out a little bit, to be like, all this despair is happening, but there's this like little thing that makes
Yeah.
you have a little bit of hope, like something's gonna change. Right now, I don't feel any hope at
don't
all.
feel
It's
like
like,
anything.
ugh, that's the problem. I'm not feeling hope, is what it is.
No, I think I think it's a thriller or whatever they listed.
Yeah,
Horror thriller.
you gotta have it. Even if there isn't hope, you gotta have a tad bit of it just to keep people moving. And
Yeah.
right now, I haven't felt it yet. So,
Hopefully it comes.
like
I
those
can't
other
remember
ones,
enough of it to know. I
those
just know
other
the
ones we
ending was
read with the
good.
lawyer, like you can tell it's a lot of despair, but there's always that little,
Every
but
now and
maybe,
then.
but maybe there's this little, yeah. So I'm hoping we get some of that just to keep me like
little spark.
a little bit of like, oh, okay, here we go. Even if it doesn't work out, I just want to feel it for a second just to bring me
Feel
back.
the upper.
Yeah, it's just too much down.
You know what's down? I'm waiting for Hex to come out. Emily McIntyre, Mermaid.
Little Mermaid twist.
Yeah, I know, because you loved Hooked
The Little
so
Mermaid,
much.
the Little Mermaid smut.
You loved Hooked so much. I'm so freaking excited for Little Mermaid.
Hooked was
Smut.
good. Hooked's still my favorite out of all of them. I know it's not yours, but it's mine.
Scarred's mine. I'm ready for Little Mermaid.
Scarred
Hex
was good.
may be mine. after this
Scarred was
comes
good.
out.
But I still like Hooked the best.
I'm waiting for Hex. And we're both waiting for that fourth wing to come out.
That's what I'm
Oh,
waiting
God,
on
I
right
know.
there.
You just got excited. You're like, fourth wing.
I need another fourth wing. That left me hanging in a.
What is it? Ember
hor-
Rain or whatever this one
That
is?
left me hanging in a way that just pissed me off.
Ember Storm. I know. My God. I told you. It was
But
awful.
it pisses you off. But it's like, oh, that's gonna be so good of a
Yeah, like,
to
what
see where
the
that
freak
goes.
happens next. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what are they going to do from here? Because it could have 20 different scenarios.
Yeah,
So
I can't
we're
wait.
excitedly waiting for that. I pre-ordered it. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to watch me because I forget when I pre-order it. And it'll be like, they're out tomorrow. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm buying it. And I'll run and get it. And then
Oh
they
no,
come
no!
in the
I'll
mail
remind
the
you.
next day.
I'll remind you. You
No, I have
pre-ordered it.
two.
We already paid for it. It's done.
We'll have 2 copies of them.
They just better bring it out on Audible
That's what I'm
as soon
worried
as
about,
it
'cause
comes
then
out, because I want to be able to read it too.
Which I don't know how they do that. If it's got to come out and then people, because I know people will work for Amazon stuff to read audiobooks.
Well, they've usually on these bigger books like that, they use the same voiceover people, so it's not like they
Hopefully,
got to
yeah.
hire somebody new.
Good. Because I see people on TikTok live
Those
all the
people
time
will get it
reading
in
books.
advance. Yeah,
And I'm like, oh,
these
we gotta
people will
wait.
get it way in advance to read it, to record it.
good. I hope so.
So.
Because I love you. I don't know if I'm going to wait for you. That's what I'm saying.
Better wait.
You're like, you better. Oh, well.
All right. Well, yeah, if you like what you watch or heard, please like and subscribe. We are on social media pretty much everywhere except for X. It's at Love and Luminol. If you want to find us on audio or video for our podcast, you can go to loveandluminol.com, and it has a list of all the places that we are aware of. Obviously, there's probably more out there, but the major ones are on there with links directly to them, as well as links to all those social media accounts we mentioned from before. There's also a contact form on there, so if you want to hit us up, let us know how we're doing, if you got information on a case or want us to do one specifically, feel free to message us. You can also do the same thing through all those social media accounts.
There you go.
That's about it. That's about all I got. I'm looking forward to us getting everything, our whole new setup, and
Start your side.
maybe some shirts. I already showed you guys a prototype of one of them, so hopefully we'll get that going too. It takes a little bit because we had a lot going on, and just trying to get everything back together again.
So, also I like to mention, because you mentioned family members, whatever. I get my information from the internet, multiple sources. You know, family members may know something we don't know, or I may have got some wrong information. If you know differently, please let us know.
And that's actually happened.
That's happened before. We've corrected
We've
it.
done a case. Well, it wasn't a correction. It was an update.
Yeah.
We actually had family members update us on a previous case, and we let everybody know both on the website and on the very next episode we recorded. So that was kind of cool to get something from the actual family. It's like, hey, thank you for doing the case. By the way, here's an update on it.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Or even like if, correction or anything.
Oh, yeah.
More
if we say
information.
something wrong, or if you know something that we don't know, because
If you could be like, no, that wasn't his party, or no, that didn't happen at the party. That was at their house when they got back. Like, you didn't tell us.
or
I
if
just
you
looked at what I found and put it in there. But
or if all of a sudden, we know whose gun that was or something, let us know, man.
Let us know. But on any of our cases.
Yeah, any case we've ever done. If there's something you're aware of, let us know.
Because I've gotten, in my research, there's a couple cases. And I try to mention, I'd be like, this source said it's this name, and this source said this name. I'll get people like, he's John. No, he's David. And then I'll get like, he's born March 12th. No, February 2nd. And I'm like, March 12th, February 2nd. And you get them sources the same, and you're like, it was March 12th or February 2nd. So
be like, it's one of them, people.
Yeah. So if
Hopefully.
no, for sure, please let us know, and we'll update everybody else.
Yep. That all you got?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.